Hey everyone, thanks for checking back in. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about trimming the edge band, the tools and methods to get it trimmed up and cleaned up and ready for your project. So stay tuned. So we've got our piece edge banded, but now we need to trim it up flush on the ends and on the edges. And to do that, I like to hold it very securely. And what I do is I just clamp down a wooden hand screw to my workbench. You could put this in a regular woodworking vise too, whatever you prefer. And then tighten this, and this supports it really well. So the first tool we're going to use is this end trimmer. And what this is this acts like a guillotine. You can see this bottom blade comes up and meets this top blade. And you can see here too that there's a slot for the edge banding to sit in. And here's how it works. So I'm just gonna slide this over the edge band, push it tight to the workpiece, slide it back to the end, and then I'm just going to squeeze these together, and it's perfectly flush. Super easy. Here's another view. This just slides over, pull it back flush, squeeze, easy. Alright, so the tool for trimming the edges, this is the one I prefer. It's made by Fast Cap and it's really simple. It's just two pieces. There's no springs, so it goes back together, and it's just the air that causes that springing action. And you can see it's got these slots right here that accepts the overhang of the edge band, and then the actual cutter is in here. There's one on the bottom, one on the top. Same on this side, so you're doing both sides at the same time. And I like to mark my cutter. I put an X on the top here, what I'm calling the top, and that way I know that if I've been using it like this for a while, I need to flip it over and use it this way to evenly wear the blades. And so it's pretty easy. You just get it on about an inch onto the wood. Let's just squeeze it till it's up against the sides, and then give it a push till it contacts, and now it's all trimmed up. Really easy, works really well. I will say that you want to keep these blades sharp, like keep an extra pair on hand, because when they get dull they don't trim quite as flush, but when they are sharp, there's almost never any other treatment needed to the edge as far as the flushness goes. So really handy tool, really quick. The only other thing I like to do to the edge is to break this corner, because the trimmer has cut it really close, real flush, and it creates just a sharp 90-degree corner right here. And that's the kind of stuff that can start to wear or to cause a little snag and cause problems with your edge band. So I just use a block. This one is 180 grit, and I just come down here and then I go with the grain. And that gives me just a broken edge there, so there's nothing sharp to catch on anything and pull the edge band off. You can do the same on the other side. It gives you a really nice clean edge that now is ready as a shelf or a cabinet part or whatever you're doing. Alright, talk just for a little bit about edge bands. And by the way, the video right before this is where I actually go into using an edge banding machine and how that whole process works and how the machine works. So you might want to check that out before you watch this video. But anyway, if you're working with raw wood that's not finished, then you want a wood edge band that's actually real wood to match your species. This is a piece of maple edge band, and you would put this on just the way I showed in the other video and trim it just like I showed. But one thing to be aware of with real wood is that there is an actual grain direction. In this way, it's starting here and it's moving this way. So I want to cut it this way. If you think of the grain as like the hair on a dog's back, if you pet it from its head to its back, the fur lays down. But if you go the other way, it stands up. And the same thing will happen if you go against the grain. It can sometimes splinter, so you just need to be aware of that. And the nice thing about this cutter is that you can take it off and use just one half. If you need to go this way on this side and this way on this side, you can do that with this cutter and keep your grain from tearing out. So this is a piece of wood edge banding, and if you're using raw wood, then you want to use a raw band to match. Now this particular piece here is pre-finished plywood. Okay, this is maple plywood that already comes with a clear coat on it, a UV cured coat. I like to use it for cabinet interiors because it's already finished, it's super durable. So my options for edge banding this are either to get a maple that's been pre-finished to match, or to use a PVC edge band that is the same color and grain as my UV maple. And you might think, oh well, the clear choice would be a clear coated real maple band. But the problem I have with it is that number one, it is wood, so it cracks really easy. PVC doesn't break. It's a lot more durable. The second issue is that while the face may be finished, when you put this on here and you trim it, all of a sudden you've got two edges that are not finished, and there are a lighter raw color to it, and it shows on this edge. You see a white line right there from that raw edge being trimmed. With a PVC band, it's the same color all the way through, so even when I trim the edge, it's still a matching color, and it just produces a little bit cleaner, nicer, harder to see seam there. And it's real durable to impact and just wear in general. So when I'm using a pre-finished product like this or a laminate, then I prefer to use a PVC edge band. And the other reason is, if you're doing laminate work, like with Formica or Wilson Art type laminates, they will make them in a whole bunch of colors to match just about every laminate and every kind of wood grain out there. This is a maple ply, like I said, and there's like 2 or 3 different variations of it that help you match kind of the coloring and the grain of whatever product you're using. So it works really well and it's really durable. I do encourage you, when you're buying edge band, to not go to the home center and buy that pre-glued type of band. I like to get it from a true edge banding supplier. So just Google edge banding supplier on Google and buy from there, because they're going to apply a really good glue to the back of the band for you, and that's going to be a lot stronger than like what you're going to find at a craft store or a home center. It's just going to give you a better bond. So that's another suggestion I have for you. Alright, well there's your edge banding 101. Hope that it was helpful in just introducing you to the products and the tools necessary to trim up your edge banded pieces without going to a lot of expense with specialized machinery. So happy woodworking, and we'll see you next time.